Today's show is going to have some earth-shattering revelations for you. It is going to help you to put it all together. Now, while people want sensitive information, while people want revelations that they cannot get anywhere else, something to shock them, something to make their ears ring, I recently understood not everybody wants to put it all together. As important and as critical this is in this age of deception, very few people are interested in putting it all together. I was shocked at that realization. Because there was a time not too long ago when I firmly believed everybody wants an answer to the mystery of what is unfolding on our planet right now. Now, people are always very busy telling me, Chris, this is not good for your image. Chris, don't do this. This will damage your image to your fans. Chris, if you do this, those who believe in you will believe in you less. Let me respond by quoting my late political lecturer. What rubbish! I believe in being myself. I believe in not hiding any part of myself, even if it is bad, even if it is the kind of thing that will shock people, because I'm human. I don't believe, and I will never believe, in fake images. And above all else, I'll always be a very keen student of life. That means I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to be corrected. Even if what I didn't know will embarrass me. People say, "Ay, kumekucha didn't know that." That's me. Sina aibu. Now I'm saying all that because I'd like to present today's show in a different way. And I will tell it as a story, a personal story, my personal story of discovery. Towards the end of 2019, last year, I got bored with myself. Why? Because I would come in to make a recording with all my notes ready and everything planned for an exciting recording, something that would excite most people, an interesting subject, an interesting topic. And then when I would open my mouth, I would find myself talking about the coming economic crisis, the coming depression. And I would always refer back to the Great Depression of the 1930s in the United States. Very boring topic. And I spent a lot of time on this boring topic. I even produced a documentary on how to survive a very serious economic depression. And I didn't understand myself. Somewhere at the back of my mind, I thought maybe the Kenyan economy is going to finally collapse. Now, let me not lose you. Our main topic today is the current global situation. Let me not lose you. Our topic is the virus crisis. Then in late February, early March, I started talking about the month of March. Basically how right through history, terrible things begin to happen in the month of March. And believe me, I had no idea what was going to happen. Now let me skip again. Don't worry, I'll put all these things together. Growing up, I became obsessed with the lives of two American presidents, Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. I knew everything about their assassinations, their lives, etc., etc. And I never understood why I was so obsessed about these two great American presidents. Now let us very quickly start to put it all together. If you review all the videos on this channel about the virus crisis, you will quickly realize that it was a learning process for me, a very steep learning curve process for me. But one mystery lingered. One mystery kept on disturbing me greatly. And it is this, that somebody still living on this earth would want to destroy and bring down the entire global economy. You know, if you want to solve any mystery in this world, there is one cardinal rule that has always held true. And it is this: follow the money. You can never go wrong when you follow the money. You have a murder mystery, which cops can't solve, a cold case, follow the money, and you'll get to the truth very quickly. I tried to do that with this global crisis, but still, it didn't work for me. I didn't see. Or they'll make money from masks, or they'll make money from ventilators. My mind couldn't be wrapped around those theories. And then it hit me like a thunderbolt. And I realized the global crisis is all about money. Oh yes. Now I'm going to make a huge effort to greatly simplify it. Because I realize we are not all economics majors. I realize that things to do with the economy may be very boring to a lot of people on this channel. So I'm going to greatly simplify it. Now let's start with a very practical situation many of us can identify with. You don't like your neighbors and they don't like you. Wanaringa sana. They're very proud. And they never lose any opportunity to belittle you. Because first of all, they drive a brand new, very nice car. You have an old smoking thing. So they sometimes block your car in the parking place. And when you ask them to remove it, there's this look on their face. They don't have to say anything, but the look on their face tells you the whole story. They're telling you in short, toi mkebe kwa barabara. This thing you're driving does not deserve to be on the road. And in your mind, you're seething with rage. You're telling yourself, I wish I could find a way to humble these neighbors of mine. I wish I could find a way for them to show me respect. And then one day out of the blue, you discover, that they're living a life of illusions. What do I mean? Their car, that brand new shiny car, is on loan. They have a loan with a bank. They have to make payments every month. The furniture in their house has been purchased from a huge bank loan they took, which is separate from the car loan. And the impressive business they have somewhere in town, at a very respectable location in town, upmarket, is also all loans. They import stuff from China to sell, but that business has never shown a profit even one day. And all this information you discover from your cousin, who is a powerful bank manager at the very bank where they've taken out all these loans. And your cousin tells you they're already falling behind on loan repayments. But you don't have a single loan anywhere. Everything you own, everything you have, you fully own. It's not attached to anything. And so you discover how to make your neighbors bow down to you. And so you scheme with your cousin. You plot. And within a very short time, things dramatically change in that neighborhood. That brand new car is seized in traffic in the city. So your neighbor starts coming home on a boda. And suddenly, very suddenly, the image of your old smoking car changes very dramatically. You have a car. You don't come home with a boda. But your neighbor does. And of course, you have talked to your cousin. He has dropped a hint that your neighbor can help you. I've recalled the loan, but your neighbor there where you live, he can help you. To cut a long story short, this previously proud neighbor of yours, within a very short time, is kneeling down in front of you, in your house, begging you. To cut a very long story short, If you want people to do what you want them to do, the easiest, simplest, most effective way to make them desperate is to touch their money. You want to control the entire globe? Touch everybody's money. You want most of the world to forget God Almighty, creator of the universe? Touch their money. Do what this guy did in my example with the neighbor, and within no time, they'll be all there kneeling before you, worshipping you. Now, the key I got to understanding all this is based on history. And this statement is going to shock you to your bones, but it is 1000% true, accurate. The entire global economy was set up to fail. The people who interfered with it in such a way that at a future date, it would be very easy for them to bring it all crashing down. When you realize the truth in that single statement, you will be able to bring everything very neatly together, like I did. And then you'll also begin to understand that this deception did not start yesterday. It started a long time ago. And that indeed, even in history, what you and I believe is deception. I have always believed that President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated because he ended slavery. Nope. He was assassinated because of his prudent, long-term, financial, economic policies over the United States. And I'll not bore you with the details. Do your own research. Pay special attention to a man called Salmon P. Chase, who was the Treasury Secretary in Abraham Lincoln's administration. John F. Kennedy was assassinated for the same reason. The simplest, quickest way of realizing this is to take a quick look at who John F. Kennedy's opponent in the 1960 presidential elections was. It was a man who later became president. His name was Richard Nixon. And what Richard Nixon did was that he removed the United States for the first time off the gold standard. Before, the US dollar was pegged on gold that the United States had. To simplify it for you, what it meant, for example, is that the US had gold in their possession, in their vaults, worth 100 billion. And therefore, they would never print dollars worth more than that 100 billion. So that all their money was backed by gold they had. Now I can hear some naive person saying, Chris, the US dollar has no relation, has no link to me living in Africa. Its impact on me is zero or very minimal. Well, it is much bigger than you think. Here's how. The US dollar is based on nothing but faith in the United States. And virtually every country in the world, including that country of yours called Kenya, keeps foreign reserves. Keeps US dollars. That is what we refer to as foreign currency, US dollars. And so the Kenya shilling is backed by US dollars, which are backed by nothing. And so, if you want to crash the global economy, including the Kenyan one, you don't even have to step in Kenya. All you have to do is to bring down the US dollar. Crash it. And what you have done is that you have also crashed the Kenyan shilling. Now it is very important that you understand all this very boring to some complex economics. And the main reason is that you're the targeted victim. Very soon, you're going to wake up one morning and discover that your money, which you gained through hard work or you gained through corruption, is all worthless paper. And all this so that you can become desperate, so that you can worship the one who can get you out of that mess, so that you can do anything they want you to do. including taking a vaccine that has something called nanochip technology. Now allow me a few seconds, a few minutes, to very quickly simplify for you why the gold standard is very important. And I'll tell you a story. A clever Mzungu one day wanted to crash the economy of a very prosperous small village. In this small village, people purchased whatever they wanted using goats. And everybody was very happy because everybody had goats. You're hungry, you want a sack of maize, you go and exchange with one goat. You want to buy a pickup to take your goats to the market, you gather 100 goats. And the Mzungu came one day and told the king, "Oh, great king, live for long. You're very wise, but now I want to introduce brand new modern technology into this backward village of yours. Trading in goats is primitive. Introduce a paper signed by you, the king. And so if somebody wants to buy goats, they don't have to go into the trouble of trekking all the way to the market with the goats. They simply bring those 100 goats to you, and you write them a paper and sign, worth 100 goats." The villagers were delighted at this new convenience. The king's political popularity grew in leaps and bounds. You just take a paper, written 100 goats signed by the king, with his seal, and you get your car. And the man you sell the car to wants a bag of maize. And so he takes that note somewhere and is given change of a paper saying 99 goats. And he has his bag of maize, which he has paid 1 goat in paper currency for. But the people were not prepared for the long-term impact of this clever new technology. People stopped rearing goats. There was no more an incentive to rear goats. And there was something else that happened that people didn't notice. This clever Mzungu was buying all the goats and taking them away and keeping them away in his farm at a distance. And so after a short while, there was great hunger in that village. No meat, no goats. And people couldn't even buy a bag of maize because they were broke. No more goats to take to the king to exchange for paper money. And the Mzungu came back to the village and said, "Oh, your people have really messed up. Your primitive people have really messed this up. But the good news is that I can save you. I have all the goats your people require." To cut a long story short, the Mzungu took over the entire village, including the wise king. And despite the fact that his shamba was far away from this village, he controlled and ruled that village. The king did precisely what he wanted him to do. And this Mzungu loved women. So one of the things the Mzungu did was he would come and he would demand you to hand over his wife to him for a weekend. And when he was done, he would come for your neighbor's wife. And there was nothing anybody could do about this, because this was the new law in that village. This is an easy way of understanding why the gold standard was so important. Now I can hear somebody laughing sarcastically at some corner. "Ah, Chris, get out of here. You mean these people behind this virus lived in the days of Abraham Lincoln? Kwani they're old now?" Get out of here. Well, let me respond with wisdom. These people have a boss. And this boss has been alive for a very long time. And his main mission has always been to make you believe he doesn't exist. Let me just leave it at that. Jijazie. Now, very quickly, what is the solution? Now that you know the truth, now that you have the entire picture. Number 1, you must start thinking differently, like yesterday. Going forward, the issue is going to be survival. Trust me. And before I tell you what you're going to do with your money, you need to generate some income as quickly as possible. As much of it as you can as quickly as possible. Now I have 2 amazing ebooks I've produced. Full of ideas, business ideas, money-making ideas. You can see the details on your screen right now. But I will also throw in a documentary I did, on how to thrive during very harsh economic times, during an economic depression like the one we've entered. This video I did, as I said earlier, in 2019. Invaluable video, because I know some of you are stuck with property, no tenants. It gives you a very brilliant idea on what to do. Take advantage of that special offer, and get it right away. Time is not on your side. Number 2, be as self-sufficient as possible. Grow your own food. And you need a very small piece of land, a very small area in your backyard to do this even commercially. The answer is in vertical sack farming. And if you look in the description area of this video, you'll find a link to the video I've done on vertical sack farming. Yes, I know you hate farming. Even I used to hate farming. But you don't have an option. Trust me. My strong advice is prepare. There's a huge possibility that the current crisis may pass. But even if it passes, it will only be postponed to happen again very soon. So you must prepare. You don't have an option. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.